Welcome back to Wellness Wave Radio. Thanks for tuning in this morning to ride the wave with us. Each week our goal is to give you at least one suggestion that will make your life a little better. My name is Phil George. I'm a clinical biochemist, a certified personal trainer, and a health coach. Please remember, everything we discuss on the show, especially today, is for informational purposes only and should not be taken as medical advice. Always seek the guidance of your medical professional. So I'm here with Art Paquette. And Arthur, what is your exact title? Are you station manager? Are you the king of all media? What's your exact?
Well, I'd like to be king of all media, but yeah.
I think that's Howard Stern.
Yeah. Oh, geez. But no, I'm the studio manager here at LCAC, and we got a bunch of great people. Well, you know, we produce a show every week, and yeah. But I do get. By doing that, I have gotten to listening to you and very educational. A lot of stuff I didn't know.
Well, yeah, that's the whole point. And we're going to cover it specifically. We spoke last week, and I don't think I think it's okay with you. We can talk about your medical conditions.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And you've mentioned that before. So actually, I use you a lot in terms of the carotid arteries and the clotting, and mentioning what you went through.
I was plugged.
Plugged up. So one of the things you talked about was the high blood pressure, and I said I was going to bring something in here and have you try. And actually, it was interesting. I don't know if you heard it. Your assistant, Lucky, he had mentioned to me, and he made a really good point. And he said, "You're on blood pressure meds, and if we add something to it, there's always a danger that your blood pressure can get too low, and that could be very dangerous because that would be there's hypertension too high, and then there's hypotension too low, and you could pass out and hit your head, and that would be it." So he made a good point. In fact, I'll give you a perfect example. The VA hired me a few years ago to give seminars to veterans. Most of these people have what they call metabolic syndrome, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes. They're all overweight, all obese. And when they brought me in to introduce the guys, and I sat through the very first meeting when they had different people come in, and these guys are all overweight, and you know what they had on their table, Art? Dunkin' Donuts and stuff like that. And
There you go.
I said to the director, I said, look, I can't come in here and tell these guys to eat healthy and feed them Dunkin' Donuts, ahead of time. I said, I can't, So I said, fortunately, I know the owner of New Kitchen, New Chicken, and he was nice enough to donate healthy food. So I would bring in the food, healthy food, ahead of time, and also lunch, all low carb, low sugar, and we started with that. But as Lucky had mentioned, my concern was this: these people are on metformin, which is a drug you take for diabetes, and they were on insulin.
Oh.
And so if I'm going to be giving them a healthy diet and getting them off of this stuff, there's a possibility instead of having hyperglycemia too high, they could have hypoglycemia too low. And that's very dangerous. In fact, hypo is probably more dangerous. You get enough blood sugar to your brain, you could pass out. So I had them say, make sure that you check your blood sugar regularly. The best would be what they call a continuous glucose monitor, a CGM, where it's on all the time, hooked to your phone. If your blood sugar gets too low or too high, it beeps, beep, beep,
well,
beep.
How does it know?
Because it has a little sensor. You see sometimes, it's usually behind the arm. It goes right into the back of the arm. And
Is it a needle?
It's a needle.
Oh.
It's in there all the time. So it constantly measures your blood glucose.
Well, yeah.
So you know what's going on. Because some people, or everybody's a little bit genetically different. Like I could eat blueberries and be fine. You could eat blueberries and maybe your blood sugar will go through the roof. We have all different genes. So you want to know what's setting it off. That's why the CGM is really good. Unfortunately, it's really, really hard to get because insurance doesn't pay for it unless you already have a severe case of diabetes. So, but a lot of times you can get this if you can afford it on your own, just to make sure.
Well, I was just wondering. I see your ring here now. Now, this ring is medically. What is that?
Okay, this is an Oura ring. It works very similar to an Apple Watch and things like that. It measures everything, but it doesn't measure blood sugar. Eventually, I'm sure it will. I'm sure it also will measure blood pressure at some point. Mm-hmm. These are medical wearable devices. It measures my heart rate, my blood sleep, my temperature. It measures almost everything. So when I wake up in the morning, I see how much I slept, if I had deep sleep, if I had REM sleep, my body temperature, something called heart rate variability, which measures whether you're in a lot of stress or whether you're calm. It measures all of those things on this one ring.
Now, is that a battery in there?
Yeah, some kind of, yeah.
So does it need to be recharged?
Yeah. So it lasts a couple of days, but I recharge it.
Oh, you have a
little thing I put on there, and it recharges it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because I got the Apple Watch, and as the medical marches forward, and you know that doctors, and you mentioned that overload case-wise, what are they, about 3,000 patients per doctor?
Yeah.
Isn't it some ridiculous
Yeah.
thing? And this will be a way that will send stuff to the doctor, and they can just look at that as well, the ring, and I think Google has something also. I'm not quite sure what they have. But yeah, blood pressure is going to be one of the things on my watch. If its blood pressure is high over 3 days, it'll send you a warning that you're, what do they call it when you're high? Hypertension?
Hypertension, yeah.
Yeah, it'll tell you that. Because Apple got sued. They were going to, they stole a blood pressure thing from another company, technology.
Yeah.
And then they got sued for it. So then they cut it back and said, well, we'll do it every 3 days. But eventually, these will be, and that will be a very important part of your medical tracking and, like you say, sleep and this, that, and the other thing. I know my Apple Watch does all kinds of things on my phone. It'll all this different stuff that you know and I don't. But blood pressure, let's get back to blood pressure, Phil. I wanted to ask you a question. Now, I have high blood pressure, and I did go to see the doctor just last week, and I seen her a month previous, and she told me to keep a record of all the blood pressure during the day, and it was higher. It was 100 and probably close to 140. On the high end. The low end has always been good, 65 or something like that. And what is the blood pressure? Some people say when you get older, your blood pressure range is different. But I find that kind of hard to believe. But
Actually, that's true.
But all right, so what is, let's say, a breakdown of a 70-year-old person? What should the blood pressure be?
Well, as you get older, and it's perfectly normal for your blood pressure to go up. And let's just get back to what is blood pressure. So blood pressure, you heard of this, the systolic, the top number, like 120, and then the diastolic is like 80. That's supposed to be like the ideal number, 120 over 80. Now, what that measures is what happens is when your heart beats, it's like a pump, right? It pumps the blood. When it pumps the blood, it's going to increase your arteries, right? It's going to make them bigger. That's going to be your systolic. How much pressure when it opens up? Okay, so that's basically the systolic. The diastolic is when the heart in between goes down. That's the diastolic. So the diastolic is what your blood pressure when the heart isn't beating it for that particular second or whatever.
Right.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay. What happens is, as you found out, as you get older, your arteries have a tendency of stiffening, okay, like a pipe. You ever have a case where, like, all of a sudden you're in your house and you turn on the faucet and then, or a garden hose, even better example, a garden hose. You go out to and the garden hose is nice and loose. You go out to water, everything's fine. But maybe over weeks or months, less and less water coming out. What's happening is maybe you got calcium in there or something like that. And it's not closing up.
Right.
It's the same thing with your arteries. So what happens is, as you get older, your arteries start closing up a little bit. They get a little bit stiffer. They don't open up as much, right?
Yeah.
So you can see that if you can't open up, it's going to increase the blood pressure, your blood pressure readings. So they'll both go together. In your case, you were really clogged up over here. Mm-hmm. So even though you have your arteries closing up here, it's going all over your body. That's what raises it. So it's perfectly normal for you to have a higher blood pressure as you get older.
What it should be, let's say a 70-year-old or a 75-year-old, what range would be permissible?
You said yours is like 140 over what?
65. That was on an average, but it could go lower. But sometimes it went higher. And she made me bring my blood machine and checked it, blood pressure machine, and checked it with hers. And they were basically the same. I mean, yeah, it might be a point or two off, but that can happen while we're sitting here doing it. And we should have brought a blood pressure machine in and just tried it for the heck of it. But sometimes my blood pressure recently has been way high. I mean, 165, 170, and I really shouldn't say this, but the only way I can get it down is to smoke marijuana. Now, I know I'm not a pothead or whatever, but when you get nervous and you know, as soon as you do that, 10 minutes later, you look, your blood pressure will be 125, 126. And marijuana isn't made to do that, I don't think. But what is that marijuana doing to lower my blood pressure? I don't understand that.
So you have all through your body something called endocannabinoid systems, okay, part of your body. And you heard of a cannabinoid, marijuana, right? Cannabis?
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
So, in fact, let you know, none of this is rehearsed. I didn't know.
No, I'm just asking the questions, and he asked me to come on the show and ask him just, these are questions I would ask. I even asked my doctor that. And I'm not embarrassed. I'm not a pothead. I don't smoke 10 marijuana cigarettes. If I look at my blood pressure is really high, it's just almost like a medicine. I'll just take it and light it up in a couple of hits and bingo, and then down it goes like, but I wouldn't tell anybody to do that. I'm just talking about me and you, just asking.
Not medical advice.
No, not medical advice.
So all through your body, you have something called the endocannabinoid system, cannabinoid like cannabis. And what happens is, so what's happening with you, it's a way where people feel relaxed, right? They feel good when they smoke, when they have marijuana. So I'm speculating, but I can look this up. I'm almost positive this is correct. 'Cause as a biochemist, I want to know what's called mechanism of action. Like you want to know why.
Right.
I want to know why too.
Yeah.
So you're not a biochemist, are you?
No, okay. I am not.
So
I'm a TV guy. They can put a program on sometimes.
So I want to, when people ask me a question, I want to look at basically the body, how the body works. That's what I was trained to do, understand exactly what. So I know the endocannabinoid system. In fact, I did a big seminar for a mental health group down in Plainville, and I did a whole seminar on just the endocannabinoid system to their clinicians, explaining how it works and what happens. So that's what happens. So again, I'm speculating just based on how the body works. That's what's happening. And that's why it's dropping, it's activating. There's receptors on the endocannabinoid system. So cannabis, it goes into that receptor, and it's relaxing your blood vessels.
So why can't they have something that has got that effect, but not the marijuana? Because anything you put in your lungs is no good.
That's good. That's correct.
No good at all.
That's great. So they have CBD. They have CBD oil.
Yeah.
A lot of people take the CBD to relieve pain and things like that.
Yeah.
That's why marijuana is so popular, because it relieves pain, it relieves a lot of problems. It can also relieve nausea and vomiting. So they use it sometimes with cancer patients, where the cancer patients. So you may want to try, if you don't want to smoke, you may want to just pick up CBD oil, or some people take it before they go to sleep. Again, it calms you down. So what I'll do is I'll send you when I look this up and look at if they've done studies on this. But that's what my thinking. It's based on the endocannabinoid system, and that's why I think it's dropping it. And you may want to try you can take pills for it. You can do oil and stuff like that. Just a CBD oil or a CBD. And I come next week. I think I got.
You're going to bring your marijuana?
No.
I'm only kidding now. We're the put him in the hot
Hey, the drug enforcement is coming in. Okay, so next week I'll do is I'll bring you. I brought you this. We're going to try this. We'll get into this in a second. So we'll bring you. I got some CBD oil, and so it's legal. It doesn't have the THC in it. And what that'll do is we'll see if that'll help with the blood pressure. So that's something else we can do.
Now I see you have some bottles of something here, and one of them is, what is it, fermented beets?
Yeah.
Is that a fermented beets?
Yep.
Oh, so there's alcohol in you?
No,
Huh?
no,
Come
sorry.
on now.
I'm sorry.
No, but what is this?
Okay, so now we're going to get into the other big thing. This works for everybody, not just for you.
Because I'm gonna just, if people watch TV and stuff like that, we get bombarded by, this will fix this will fix that, and then you just say, wow, all right, but you got this, so let's talk about beets.
So let's talk about what beets do is there's a big company called Super Beets. They're on there all the time.
That's one of the commercials.
Super
you see
Beets.
that, you got it at Walmart, you go get Super Beets, and this will take care of everything from A through Z.
Yep. And again, as a biochemist, I'm thinking, what's the mechanism of action? Why does it work? So I'm going to explain why it works. Okay.
That'd be good.
Let's go back to square. Let's go back to square one. Why does your blood pressure go up as you get older? So there's something called nitric oxide. Have you heard of nitric oxide?
Yeah, I've heard of it, but don't know what it is.
Okay,
but
so
sounds good.
What happens is when if you have a heart attack, what they do is they inject something into you. And I work with 2 ICU nurses. Emily was on the show just a little while ago, and Kelly Hamilton. She's going to be. I got to give myself a plug. So we're doing a big seminar at the Greendale Greendale YMCA Sunday.
No, that's in Worcester.
Yeah, that's in Worcester, and that's on Shore Drive, and that's going to be on the Mind, basically.
What time is that?
Noon.
All right.
So email me, phil.georgiacharter.net, or just come down and show up. This is good for anybody, and it's going to be. And actually, we'll mention a little bit about this too, because if it helps your blood flow, think of that. You got blood going to your brain, right? Because you almost didn't have blood going to your brain.
Yeah.
So it opens up. So when you have a heart attack, usually means that your blood vessels are constricted and you can't get blood to the heart. So they inject you something called nitroglycerin.
All right. Yeah.
Nitroglycerin, what it does is it's called the vasodilator. Opens up your blood vessels.
Oh.
And so nitric oxide, what happens is, again, what it does is it opens up your blood vessels. You heard of the Nobel Prize, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So Alfred Nobel, he won the Nobel Prize for inventing nitroglycerin, right?
Oh.
Dynamite blows things up, right?
Nice.
But it also opens up your blood vessels. So he.
It will one way or another.
So
depending how much you take, folks,
you'll blow up.
Yeah.
Don't take too much as you'll blow up. No, that's not true. So anyway, what happened? He felt really bad because he said, he says, he won the Nobel Prize for chemistry, and he said, I feel bad because this kills people. So what he did was, and they were making this nitroglycerin and all these plants, right? And what they found out, people working around the nitroglycerin, they started passing out on the floor, and they couldn't figure out why.
Really?
And they found out what happened is because nitroglycerin contains nitric oxide. So they were breathing in the nitric oxide. It was opening up their blood vessels.
No kidding.
And you go into the hypo part as opposed to the hyper part, and they were passing out. So then they found out there, and then they did more research, and they found that, well, if we give this to people with heart attacks, nitroglycerin, nitric oxide, they get better. So that's how Alfred Nobel.
I know there was a lot of medical. If you look at that medicine, it was from something else they were doing, and then they find out that it had a better. Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Minoxidil for the hair. Yeah. So what happened is they found out minoxidil
from the hair.
For the hair.
I took a lot of minoxidil, whatever it is.
So they used to give minoxidil, basically again, it's some kind of a vasodilator to basically open up the heart. But they found out the side effect was to grow hair, and that's how minoxidil. It's called off-label use. It's made for something else, but they can use it to do something else. So there's a secondary effect of it.
Wow.
Going back to this, so what happens is beets. Why? So nitric oxide is what it does is it opens up the blood vessels. So there's something called eNOS. eNOS stands for endothelial nitric oxide synthase. What it does is it goes into the blood vessels and it opens up. It produces nitric oxide. It's called eNOS. In order to make eNOS, you need nitrates and nitrites. Nitrates first, which come from beets. Nitrates get converted to nitrites, gets converted to nitric oxide. You with me?
Oh, 100%. Go ahead. I should have that marijuana cigarette now. I mean, but go ahead.
Nitrates, you need, in order to make something, you need the precursors. In other words, if you want to make a cement, right, you're going to use water and whatever else they put in there.
Right, sand and the cement. Yeah, right.
You need the precursors to make it. So in order to make nitric oxides, you need nitrates and nitrites. I know what people are thinking is basically, well, they say when you eat bacon or sausage, you want it to be nitrate free, right? That's different because those nitrates are heated at a very high temperature and it creates a toxin. So this is different. We're not heating this up. This is just fermented. So this gives the precursors for you to open up your blood vessels. Okay. Then what this is sublingual. It means it goes under the tongue. Like obviously this is very close to your brain. Anything sublingual goes right into your bloodstream. It doesn't go through the digestive system, right? It goes right into your blood, zingo. So what this is, and you're going to be the guinea pig, okay? Can you identify as a guinea pig?
Some girls used to call me pig. I don't know if that meant anything, but I shouldn't know.
So this is what it looks like.
Wow, there we go.
And actually, it tastes pretty good. It tastes pretty
And
good.
if you're playing a card game and you eat a marker, perfect.
You just pop this out, you put it under your tongue, and you let it dissolve. And that's basically it.
And what will that do? Lower your blood pressure?
It's going to increase nitric oxide, and it's going to open up your blood vessels, and it should decrease your blood pressure.
Oh, one pill?
One pill under your tongue, let it dissolve. It's like a lozenge. It's like a lozenge.
Oh, yeah.
So during, I would have given you a whole. I'll get you a whole bottle of this. I'll order some of this. So basically, you take this, throughout the day, and you take this.
Both of them?
Yeah.
Together?
At different times or together. Makes no difference.
Yeah, but you take one of these and one of those.
Yeah.
And that's for a day.
Yeah. Or you could take it. You could take it more than once a day. Whatever you want. You could take it. I take this twice a day. I take it once in the morning when I go to the gym. Opens up the blood vessel. I take it one before I go to bed at night.
Oh, but you don't take any of these?
Yeah, I take that too.
Oh. Now,
again,
who is this Dr.
McCullough?
Yeah, because I see, I know you've had that brand before. Now, what is...
I trust him. He's been the original guy, the OG for supplements. And if anybody wants this stuff, email me, philgeorge@charter.net, because I can give you the right stuff. You want to make sure you get it from the right place. I get a trusted source. I get it from the same with the Neo 40. So again, if you want to, it's not only going to lower your blood pressure. What it's going to do is it's also going to relax. It's going to relax your arteries. It's going to make them more pliable. So they're able to get around a lot better.
No, like I think what Lucky was saying before the show, he was mentioning, what about if you take lisinopril and I take something else, I forgot, that's what it is. I don't know what it's called.
Well, again, what you're going to want to do, that's why it's not medical advice, but this is natural. Your body automatically makes it. But to be cautious, what I would do is I would start taking it, and I would maybe take your blood pressure a little bit more often. So maybe when we come back next week,
right? Yeah,
you'll have you back on and see.
I'll do it. I'll be a guinea pig, and well, they did call me a pig, so I'll be the guinea pig. And then if I'm here next week, folks, hey, it worked. If not, Maureen's funeral home is down the road, and you could come and visit me there.
So yeah, keep an eye on it. Now, I don't know. I got to do a little more research. I don't know if 1 week is enough to make a difference, but I'll find out. But again, it should, because again, what it's doing is it may take a while. This is the precursor to it, and this is the actual nitric oxide. So they work in synergy.
Is this a pill?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a capsule.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, cool.
Now again, you may like Super Beets better. There's different things you can take.
We bought that Super Beets, and they seem to be pretty sweet and kind of like almost like a candy almost in a.
They want to make it so it tastes good.
Oh.
Well, I'm just saying, there's what it is basically it's nitrates to nitrites. This is the precursor. But you said that you actually like beets on their own.
Oh, I love.
So
yeah,
you
I really
so
like
you may want to go when you're shopping is just get beets. It's just the food is usually the best source. So you may not even need this. Okay, so just maybe up the beets. When you're having breakfast, throw some beets in there or something like that, and see what happens. So again, by changing your diet, see what happens. The other thing, to go back to your question, as you get older, your blood pressure goes up. What's a normal blood pressure? I'm going to send you over what I do with clients. I'm going to send you over some YouTube videos from cardiologists. I'm not a cardiologist, that talk about that it's perfectly normal for your blood pressure to be higher at a certain age. I'll send that over to you, and then you can make your own decision about it. Because not many people are going to have a blood pressure of a 20-year-old when they're 70.
Now, what
years
happens
old.
if your blood pressure is lower? What's the lower reading?
The diastolic.
So that can be too low too, right? Sometimes.
Yeah.
And that means you got something wrong with your heart, or is that?
No, that's just the diastolic. So basically, what happens again? It's your blood pressure at rest, where there's no blood going into it.
So isn't it important to have it lower rest for resting?
Yeah. No, they actually the systolic is the more important number.
That's the high number?
That's the high number, because when it's going through, it's going up, and if it's having trouble going up, it means that your arteries are too stiff.
You know what I always thought, Phil, is that now if you go to the gym and you want to be a bodybuilder, you build up muscle, right? And then you know. So I always thought, well, Jesus, the heart, you're building up muscle in your heart because you're making it, do that exercise. But actually, that's bad for your heart, right?
No, exercise is good for your heart.
Well, no, I mean by high blood pressure. Your heart is working harder to pump that blood, right?
Yeah, but your heart...
That's bad.
No, but your heart's a muscle.
Yeah.
By you making the heart work harder, it makes the heart stronger.
Yeah, but not if it's pumping high blood pressure. Then it...
Well, it's going to pump, but again, the problem is not with your heart. The problem is that your arteries are too stiff.
Okay, yeah.
It's too stiff, and everything else is kind of like for an extended period of time. Like, okay, a good example is I went to see the doctor, and my blood pressure is normally good, and I never take the elevator. I always take the stairs.
Right, which is good.
That's another suggestion. Always take the elevator. Always take the stairs, not the elevator. Yeah. It's 3 floors up.
Right, but no big deal.
I'm walking 3 floors up. I sit down. The nurse comes in, takes my blood pressure. Your blood pressure is elevated. No kidding. Why do you think my blood pressure would be elevated, Art?
Going up 3 flights of stairs might have something to do with it.
Yeah, it's going three flights of stairs. There's another condition, and it's called white coat hypertension. What do you think that means? White coat hypertension.
I think when you see a doctor, your blood pressure goes skyrocketing, and that's common.
Because what happens, if you're worried about something, you release something called cortisol. Cortisol is a stress hormone. So what happens is it goes up. So that's the reason why you want a blood pressure cuff at home and do it at home.
Yeah, we got to wrap it up here, Mr. Phil, but you can end it.
Okay.
But this is part 1.
This is part 1.
You got to come back, folks, for part 2, because this is where it really gets interesting.
Yeah. I know this is boring up to this point. No. So, okay, so we're going into more of this, and we're going to do other types of questions too. And we'll be back. Don't forget, seminar Sunday, Greendale YMCA. Noontime.
Worcester.
I'll be there with Worcester. Email me, philgeorge@charter.net. If you have any questions about anything, I also do a free consult. If anybody wants a consult, a wellness consult, I'll go over your lab work, suggest new lab work for you. We can do all kinds of things like that. Or you can email me, philgeorge@charter.net. Like we had last week, we had a question from somebody. Mm-hmm. We read it on the air, and it also would be able to hopefully help other people. So there's a lot of other things, we can go over with you and hopefully help you. And remember, your health is the most important thing. It's more important than money, right? Your health is more important than money.
Ask Steve Jobs. He could tell you that.
Okay, guys, thanks for tuning in. We're going to be right back with part 2. One of the most common questions I'm asked as a biochemist and health coach is what are the best supplements to take? Choosing supplements is a tricky business. Many companies have poor quality control and questionable ingredients. In the past, I had to send clients to several different websites. I am now able to offer one-stop shopping for all the quality brands I recommend with no shipping cost and a lower price in most cases. Just email me, philgeorge@charter.net for a free consult.